Hey everyone, Reptar here in what I hope will be a really quick video. We're gonna just take a quickie analysis breakdown look at the draft of Bren Esports versus Alter Ego, Philippines versus Indonesia in the MPL Invitational Grand Finals. We're just gonna go right into it. No other intro. Oh, I think you could hear me in Nomad there. So, I didn't want to press play there, but let's just explain what happened. For the bans, Harith, Barats, Natalia, Selena, Esme, and Brody. Those are some pretty standard bans that we see here. Actually, none of them are very outlier bans, maybe except for the Harith, because there are teams who would like to keep that open. And usually around here, you'd see a Jawhead ban somewhere. Sometimes even I think we saw one Tams ban, but that was quite rare. So, in terms of the bans, pretty standard. Outside of it not having Jawhead or Benedetta banned out. Or Lunox banned out, which was first pick here for Bren Esports. Now, going into the first pick for Bren, they really could have picked Benedetta or Lunox. Usually, those are like the standard first few picks. We have seen teams pick up Tams sometimes with the first pick, Jawhead, sometimes all viable picks, but because of the raw power and the absolute effect that a Lunox has in a draft in the MPLI meta, you would want to pick up the Lunox as your first pick. It had like going into this match an 80% win rate, something like that, 85% win rate. So you wouldn't want to let go of that opportunity. See, 81.3%. Ban 27 times, pick 16 times. That is roughly around 12 or 13 wins or 14 wins. That's a really high win rate. Now, for Alter Ego's side, you can say that they should have picked up a Benedetta, but they didn't have a track record of playing the Benedetta at all in the MPLI up until this game. Most of the games that a Benedetta was open, it was either on the blue side or it was just banned away from Alter Ego. GeekFam Indonesia specifically always bans the Brody and the Benedetta, two heroes that they don't want to go up against. So they end up picking the Benedetta. And in this point, they can either pick up a side lane or support, mage if they want to already show their mage hand, but it'd be quite weird to show it this early, seeing as how you already know potentially who you could be going up against in mid. But take note, the Lunox pick can be flexed here. So if you pick your mage too early, Bren Esports could have picked another mage, put the Lunox on the side to counter the mage pick of Alter Ego. But then as we'll see later, the Alter Ego mage pick would be really important. So here at this time, you usually see a fighter and a mage, a tank support, and a fighter side lane. Those are the usual combinations that you'll see. So, Alter Ego, pick up the Benedetta, and tank options available are either going to be Cho or Jawhead. But Alter Ego, when it comes to their tank support picks for Leo Murphy, one of his best is the Jawhead, so they pick it up. So the Jawhead and the Benedetta. Now going into the next drafting phase here for Bren Esports, they could have picked up again, they're either gonna pick up a tank support and then show their core hand early, or a tank support and maybe a fighter. And because Alter Ego picks up a Jawhead, you pretty sure they knew that this would end up being a Cho lock in for Bren Esports. If Bren didn't lock in Cho here, Cho would be going to Lusty. They would ban it out into the next phase and potentially take away the best picks available for Lusty already. So Bren Esports would play it safe. They would end up picking the Cho. And they'd pick up the fighter as well, and they give it to Flap TZ. It was the Khalid. Now, I like that they pick up the Khalid for Flap because it allows Flap to play his playstyle where we usually see him dominate the lane. And if we don't see him dominate, he's going to be on someone like a Yuzong or a Khalid who can go to a part of the map, either go help for an invade in the jungle or go for a gank into the mid lane, somewhere around that area, and be an instant factor. The Raging Sandstorm, when you go into it, if you're not gonna hit anyone, if you're not gonna stun someone, you're gonna displace someone because they're gonna try to move away from it. And if in the process of trying to move away from the Raging Sandstorm, you can accidentally walk into another skill because you're gonna be put somewhere you don't want to be just to try to avoid the Raging Sandstorm getting stunned by that. And we all know how strong Khalid is in lane, so this is a great pickup here for Flap. Potentially could have picked up the Yuzong, but when it comes to being able to sustain lane but also at the same time bully lane, Khalid would be a really great pickup here. So I like these two picks by Bren Esports, and so we're already seeing the balance. Now, the only X factor here would be if this Lunox is going to be going into the side lane or the mid lane. We don't know. Bren Esports can flex it. This can either go to Rebo or to Few. So this next pick here for Alter Ego, they, again, picking up the mage too early would have made them susceptible to getting counter picked for mages. But then at the same time, they could have picked up a mage and focus banning mages. But then focus banning mages would mean that they're going to be opening up the hero pool for Carl TZ. Something that they didn't want to do. And then, really, if they're not careful here, they might run out of heroes for the second banning phase. But then again, why would you target ban mages when there are so many mages right now available in the pool? And Few has a pretty big hero pool of mages as well. So you really wouldn't target ban that. So Alter Ego can show the core. Sometimes cores are shown here in the third banning phase. And why I like why Alter Ego showed up a core pick here is because if they did that, they know that that's going to be one option away from Bren Esports, maybe from Carl. And then they can decide to just target ban cores, which they did, as we'll see later, to really deplete the choices here for Carl TZ. They decide to pick up the 1-1, and look at that. Body language. I forgot who this is, but they're very happy with that 1-1 pick. And the 1-1 pick means that just give it enough stacks, you could avoid everything that will be thrown by the Lunox. Lunox will have to target someone else, maybe the Benedetta, but sometimes the Benedetta is going to be way too slippery to catch. So, Alter Ego are happy with that 1-1 pick. But this shows that they're going to be playing a lineup that will do really well into the mid to the late game. Early game, they have some pretty good control with the Benedetta, who actually, this could either be a support Benedetta, a jungle Benedetta, or a side lane Benedetta, which is why this was a really good pickup as well by Alter Ego, because it's such a flex pick. Bren Esports will really have to think about where they're going to be putting it in. And because this is the first time we're seeing Benedetta played by Alter Ego, we can't say for sure what their options are as to who's going to be playing the Benedetta, where it's going to be played. Excuse me. Going to the next banning phase, Alter Ego, best option for them going here would be to start to target ban Carl TZ, which you'll see later they did. For Bren Esports, they would want to ban out not two mages, maybe just one mage that they really don't want to go up against. And then banning out a side lane or maybe another core if they think this is going to be a side lane Benedetta. Side lane Benedetta, not a jungle Benedetta. So as we see here, Link gets banned by Alter Ego, taking it away from Carl TZ. They ban out the Lancelot here too, eventually. And then the Chang'e. So they decide to take out mages, and they take out the mages with the thought of really just depleting the heroes of options for Leo Murphy. But I'm pretty sure, knowing Bren Esports, they knew that what would get picked out here would be a Farsa by Alter Ego. Now, the biggest swerve in this draft was this. Suddenly picking up the Claude. And you could even hear it in me and Nomad's reactions here in the English stream that this was a huge surprise. Because this is a very greedy lineup already. You have a Benedetta, a 1-1, and a Claude. Which means in terms of the mages will be the last pick here for Alter Ego. That could either be a Farsa, Kagura, Kadita. Maybe even a Veil, but we don't see them play Veil. Now this is really greedy because these two need a lot of time. They need to get to the point where they have the first items. 1-1 with the Corrosion Scythe, we'll just be happy with that. And then, build it more. Claude, Golden Staff, or more often than not, Demon Hunter Sword, pick that up already. I'll be happy with that. So seeing this meant that, wait, what is this going to be? Is this going to be a Benedetta going to the jungle and you'll have these two in the lanes? A little bit too risky. Because the matchup potentially for Alter Ego in the side lanes don't look that good. These two versus a Khalid and a Lunox, I would root for Bren Esports in that scenario. So as you're going to see later, they played Benedetta into the side lane, played by Ahmad. They put Claude in the jungle and then 1-1 into the other side lane as well. Last two picks here for Bren Esports. This is most likely going to be the fighter, another side lane pick, a mage pick, or a pick for Carlteasy. Now, admittedly, Nomad and I forgot the existence of Roger because we barely saw Roger in the MPLI, only a few times. I think it was Burmese Ghouls who actually ended up playing the Roger most of the time because of Ace. But yeah, those are the last options here. Mage, if this is going to be a side lane Unox. A fighter, or another side laner, if it's going to be a mid Lunox going to Few. You're going to want another option here. They could have picked up the Farsa because it was open. They could have gone with Farsa onto the gold lane, a Khalid on the XP lane, and then you get Few with the Lunox in the middle, or even just flip that up. So those are the last options here for Bren Esports. And as we see here, they decide to pick out the Veil. The Valor, and then the Roger. Now, looking at just the 5 versus the 4 here of Alter Ego, this is the Bren Esports lineup is the more balanced lineup. You have a good tank support. You have a relatively good crowd control with a Cho, Khalid as well, Raging Sandstorm, and of course the knockbacks from Veil can really throw off the momentum of Alter Ego. You like this draft coming in from Bren Esports already. And Alter Ego, last options here, exactly. Kadita, Kagura, Farsa, Veil if they play it. But they will decide to pick up the Farsa. In terms of balance, you cannot say that the Alter Ego lineup is the most balanced in the world. This isn't a lane holder. In that we think it's sustained, it takes a lot of damage. It has really good wave clear. It has really good damage. But then as we would see in the game, Flapteasy gave the Benedetta a hard time when it's able to bully in lane. So, really, Bren Esports had a more balanced draft here. But as we would see, sometimes things that don't look good in paper, once brought in game, are just something else. Because if you look at the draft for Alter Ego, look, they need to buy time. But the balance in their draft is in the presence of the heroes during the multiple phases. So by that, I mean, early to mid, they're actually good. You have good damage coverage. You get relatively good damage from a Jawhead with Pull Yourself Together. The burst damage coming in from the ejector plus the missiles, everything, the unstoppable force. It's really good damage coming in from the Jawhead. Benedetta, we all know, level 4, already great damage even without an item. Give it the first item and you're really going to have to avoid Benedetta skills well. Farsa, we know, early to mid. Once it has that Feathered Airstrike hurts a lot. So they're actually covered from early to mid in terms of dealing damage. Mid to late, they'll have the damage as well. They'll have the Claude and then the 1-1. But then the reason why Bren Esports lineup here is much safer and much more balanced is because you have the Lunox and the Khalid holding down the side lanes here. I would take that matchup where the Lunox versus the 1-1. Yeah. The Khalid versus the Benedetta. The Khalid wins that. But at the end of the day, we all found out it was a whole different story. And it was just really just sharp playing by One Esports. By One Esports. By Alter Ego. Somehow they were able to do really well in four-man clashes. Pi or Boy, if though who most of the time they wouldn't join the team fights or the skirmishes, and then one of them would just be farming or split pushing, specifically Pi into the bottom lane with that 1-1. Man, there. Before this goes more into an analysis of what happened in game, that's just a analysis of the draft. Not that quick, but then drafting is a whole beast in itself that it could end up becoming a really longer video. But hey, thanks everyone. I think this is gonna be going on YouTube, YouTube channel. So thank you so much. If you like this video, if you want more of this, let me know in the comment section how I can improve. But yeah, that's gonna be it. This is Reptar once again, and thank you so much for all the support lately. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Peace.